Evangeline, how are you?
I'm great, how are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Look, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm great.
You brought upon them only ruin and death.
In this movie, Tauriel discovers love for the first time. She's like 100 years and she has never felt it before.
600 years.
Really?
She's very young for an elf. She's very, very young.
How does it feel for her? How does it change her?
It is a brand new. I mean, Tauriel has felt love before, but kinship, love for her kin, love for her people, love for nature, love for her parents. But she's never experienced romantic love before, and that's something very new for her. And I think it's frightening, as are any emotions when we experience them, usually for the first time, or anything new that we encounter. It can be frightening. But she's a very brave character, and in the same way that she isn't afraid to face legions of orcs and go to battle, she faces this new emotion, I think, with a lot of courage.
In this movie, we see Bard, who becomes the leader of his people, something he didn't expect. So how does he manage this situation?
Well, he's a human. He just thinks like a human and reacts like a human who has responsibility to protect his loved ones, and he ends up doing almost superhuman things in the film. But that's an everyman who finds the courage and bravery inside of him. So it's an amazing journey, really.
And well, she's an original character. It's not from the books. So was it easier for you to play it, or was it more difficult? You know, the fans are very passionate. They have expectations.
I think it gave me a freedom. It gave me a liberty, because nobody was watching this movie thinking, but that's not how I pictured Tauriel when I read the book. And so I had this freedom that nobody except Peter Jackson, Fran Walsh, and Philippa Boyens could say, this is how Tauriel should act. So it was great. We kind of got to be the authorities on the character, and it gave me a lot more space to play with him.
Well, this journey has come to an end, and as a part of the audience, it's like very sad and nostalgic when you watch the ending. How was it for you as part of the cast to finish filming this film? How was the ambience between the whole cast and crew?
Well, it was by the time we finished the movie, you know, I'd been on the movie for about a year, so it was, you know, you're very used to seeing those faces and the people that you're working with every day, so it's a very sad moment, really. It was a big achievement, but also I didn't really want to let Middle-earth go. I didn't want to leave New Zealand, and I didn't want to go home, really. I was very happy there. So.
You started this. You will forgive me if I finish it.
And well, aside from Kate Blanchett, you're like the only female in this movie. So how was it to be the only female in terms of the story and on the set?
Well, on the set, I just got spoiled rotten. I was a princess on the set, and everybody treated me very, very, very well. It was very nice to be surrounded by charming, handsome men all day. And then in the film, it meant so much to have two female characters in these three films, because you know, Tolkien wrote these stories in 1937, and at that time, the message that was being sent to women through fiction was, you don't matter in life. And that was pre-feminist revolution, but we're almost 100 years later. And I think everybody will agree that women do matter in life, and that women do matter in stories, and that it was very important for Peter to represent women in his storytelling.
Do you have any personal traits that you put into this character?
Yeah, I put some of myself into every role I play, but especially with Bard, because he's a human and he's got a lot of really good qualities about him. So I was sort of trying to bring a bit of myself to, if I was a father of 3 children and the dragon was coming to kill the town that I lived in, then, you know, maybe I would try and do something as brave as he did.
And you have a lot of battles in this movie, so which was the most demanding scene to?
It's the first scene of the third movie, the battle on the rooftops between my character Bard and the dragon. It was the first scene I shot when I was in New Zealand 4 years ago, and it was a very demanding, physically exhausting scene where I was on wires on the rooftop. So yeah, that one.
And you always play like badass women who kick ass. So do you always look for these roles, or do they just come to you naturally?
I think they mostly come to me naturally. When I read parts, I'm just looking for interesting characters. I'm not ever looking for a kick-ass character. I just want to play a woman who has all facets of femininity within her, not just being, vulnerable and compassionate and kind, and not just being kick-ass and violent and cool. Like that's boring to me if you're on one side of any spectrum. I like the idea of a character that, like all of us, is multifaceted.
And in this movie, you battle a dragon. In Dracula Untold, you were Dracul, the son of the dragon. And you're from Wales, and the flag of Wales has a red dragon in it.
Very well researched.
What
Well
is
done.
it with you and the dragons?
I have no idea. Well, that's three things. The things come in threes, right? So
Yeah.
maybe that's me done.
And you're playing Hope Van Dyne in Ant-Man next year, so could you tell us anything about your character? Will we see you as the Red Queen or as a new Wasp?
Well, my character is the daughter of two superheroes. She's the daughter of Ant-Man and Wasp. And so she is a very, very interesting human being. She's got many daddy issues. She has a very bad relationship with her father, hence taking her mother's last name, Hope Van Dyne. And but she's very smart. She's very capable, and she's very kind of kick-ass, because how can you be raised by two superheroes and not sort of learn the ropes, or not learn how to be kind of impressive?
Well, thank you so much.
Thank
for your
you.
time.
Evangeline is playing a superheroine next year in Ant-Man.
She's in what?
In Ant-Man.
Oh, is she? Oh, I didn't know that.
So would you
Amazing.
like to play a superhero someday?
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Yeah.
Well, Bard and Dracula are kind of like
Exactly.
superheroes.
Yeah, exactly. They're sort of superheroes already. Maybe I've done it. Maybe I've already done it.
You have but one question to answer. How shall this day end?